So Michael Caine is a crotchety old man who cusses at people a lot. I think this movie's really gonna speak to me. Bestsellers is brought to us by director Lena Rossler and stars Michael Caine, Aubrey Plaza, and Scott Speedman. So what we got here is a comedy dramedy about Aubrey Plaza's character Lucy, who runs a publishing house, and how that publishing house is failing and she's going to end up having to sell if she doesn't get a new bestseller. Upon looking into their backlog, they find that they have an old contract for a best-selling author, Harris Shaw, played by Michael Caine, owes them a book, and he hasn't written a book since his last bestseller, something like 30 years ago. So of course she thinks that this could be what could save my company, so she goes to seek out Harris Shaw. However, Shaw isn't really interested in doing this. In fact, Shaw's not really interested in doing anything. He just wants everybody, like the whole world, to just leave him the fuck alone. Though when presented with the contract, he has no choice, so he digs out one of his old manuscripts, gives it to her, and says, there you go, we're square. However, another part of the contract said that he has to go on a promotional tour, so he and Aubrey Plaza's character set out on their promotional tour for his new bestseller. The basic story of bestsellers isn't the most original story out there. We've seen similar types of situations in movies. Maybe not this exact one, but this whole thing about having a reluctant person having to go along on a ride with someone else and go do stuff throughout the course of the movie, we've seen that before. It does offer up some laughs as well as some heart. Now, it's not quite as much heart as I was hoping for, but there is heart there to be had. There are a few moments, especially closer to the end, that some of you may want to have the tissues on standby. It's an enjoyable enough, pleasant story. I was never bored, I was entertained by it the entire time. On the flip side of that though, I really wasn't blown away by it. There was nothing in this story that just really stuck out to me. It tries, and there are some late movie revelations that add some punch to it all, but overall, it was just enjoyable. It was pleasant. Now, what really did work here and really sold the entire experience was the performances from Michael Caine and Aubrey Plaza. Plaza was really good. I enjoyed her character, I enjoyed her performance, just overall, I enjoyed what she had to offer here. She was funny when she needed to be, and she felt at home with the dramatic parts as well. She was a very likable character. I wasn't like floored by the performance or anything, but it was very good. Now, Michael Caine, on the other hand, per usual, was fantastic. Is anybody really surprised with that though? Michael Caine is pretty great in just about everything he's in. Hell, look at Jaws 4, The Return. He's in that piece of shit of a movie, and he's even good there. Thankfully, this is a much better movie than Jaws The Return though. While I said the performances are what really sold this movie, Caine's, probably more than anyone else's, is absolutely the one that keeps you watching. His character is the one with the most substance, the most to do, the most interesting. He's an old guy who's lost pretty much everything and just gives no fucks about anything or anyone. Harris Shaw does whatever the fuck Harris Shaw wants to do, and he does not care. He goes around just flipping people off and telling people to fuck off and saying everything out there is bullshit, as he calls it. So much so that that is a point in the movie. Hashtag bullshit becomes a thing within this film. And I did really enjoy this aspect of the movie. Michael Caine was fantastic here. I loved watching him as this crotchety old man just like telling people off and cussing at them in people's faces when he did it. It actually came across as kind of therapeutic to him in like real life or something. I think he was enjoying doing this probably a bit more than they expected. We get a pretty funny bit part from Cary Elwes, and Scott Speedman, where the hell's that guy been, is solid as the douchebag who's trying to buy Aubrey Plaza's company. Overall, we get some really good performances from the cast here. Now in the comedy department, the movie does deliver. It's got some really funny bits throughout the film, and most of them involve Michael Caine's character. However, in the drama side of things, while yes, we do get some, it's not until the end of the film that we get any type of drama that really sticks. Anything of merit that actually stands out. That's not to say that the drama that came before is bad, it's just not very memorable. The tone of the movie does swing from comedy to drama fairly frequently within the film, as these comedy drama movies do, but I will say that when they have these swings, they are fairly fluid. They're not like drastic and out of nowhere. Overall, a solid, enjoyable, yet fairly unremarkable film. Guys, overall, Bestsellers was a pleasant, enjoyable film. It doesn't really break any boundaries, it doesn't do anything new, it doesn't bring anything to the table. For the most part, it does play it fairly safe with its story, but it doesn't ever get boring. It is fairly entertaining. I wasn't disappointed in watching this movie. I do wish it was just a bit more memorable though. We got some really good performances with a bit of heart towards the end, and if that sounds sounds like it's your kind of thing, then absolutely check out Bestsellers on streaming.
Across the street.
While this movie was fairly unremarkable overall, it was fine. It was entertaining, it was enjoyable. So if you're looking for an enjoyable comedy drama for the night, then check out Bestsellers. I think you'll have a pretty pleasant time with it. So there it is, guys, my review of Bestsellers. If you enjoyed and want more content like this, hit that subscribe button and help my little channel grow. If you want to help out the channel, check out my Patreon in the description below and become a jarhead and get some of the awesome benefits to go along with that, like these guys. And possibly join my top tier and become a bad motherfucker like my man Greg. If you liked what I had to say, give me a like. If not, let me know in the comments below why. And as always, stay sexy, #bullshite.
Somehow, you have over 20,000 followers.
Christ had followers. It didn't end well for him.
The Bible was a bestseller, wasn't it?
While this movie was just kind of fine, Michael Caine as the old guy walking around with a chip on his shoulder telling everybody around just to fuck off all the time was just great. I loved watching it. It was kind of magical. It kind of sort of made it worth the entire experience. Pretty sure that'll be me as an old man. Or at least I hope it's me as an old man.